Hello everyone, welcome to Raaonline. Today we will be discussing about pathophysiology of mood disorders. So in this heading we will see what are the neurochemicals involved in mood disorders and what are the theories postulated in the etiology of mood disorders and pathophysiology relevant to treatment, that is antidepressant mood stabilizers and genetics and markers related to mood disorders. So we will go into the topic. First we will see neurochemicals related to mood disorders. Previously, in the heading of schizophrenia, we saw about dopaminergic neurotransmission, serotonergic neurotransmission. So, please refer to the basics of dopamine and serotonin in the schizophrenia slides. Now, remaining two neurotransmitters, that is norepinephrine and GABA. We will discuss neurochemistry in little detail. So, this is norepinephrine. It is synthesized from the amino acid called tyrosine. Okay, tyrosine is transported into neurons by tyrosine transporter, and it is acted by these three enzymes in sequence. First, the tyrosine hydroxylase. This is a rate limiting step. It converts tyrosine into dopa. Okay, then what happens? Dopa decarboxylase converts dopa into dopamine. Okay, then dopamine beta hydroxylase that converts dopamine into norepinephrine. This is how the norepinephrine is formed from tyrosine. Then the vesicular monoamine neurotransmitter loads norepinephrine into the synaptic vesicles. So this is the pictorial representation. The tyrosine transmitters transfers tyrosine into neurons. Then it acts by the series of these three enzymes, converts tyrosine into norepinephrine, and it is loaded into vesicles. And from where, with neurotransmission, it is released into the synapse. Okay, this is how norepinephrine is produced and released into the synapse. Then, how the action is terminated. So, any neurotransmitter, we used to see what is the precursor, how it is transported into neurons, then how it is produced, then how it is released, and how it is terminated. Okay, here norepinephrine action is terminated by two principal mechanisms. Okay, that turns norepinephrine into inactive metabolite. One is monoamine oxidase, A or B. This is located in the mitochondria and the presynaptic neuron. Okay, and next is catecholamine methyltransferase, COMT, that is largely located outside the presynaptic terminal. Okay, and sometimes this transport pump, okay, the transport pump removes norepinephrine from the synapse and pumps it back to neurons. So, these are the ways in which the norepinephrine action is terminated. If you see, this is a pictorial representation. This is a norepinephrine pump. This transport norepinephrine back into neurons. Okay, and if you see the monoamine oxidase A and B, it is present inside the neuron. Okay, it is in the presynaptic neurons. It destroys norepinephrine inside the neuron. And if you see COMT, this is basically extra neuronal. Okay, it is in the synapse. It destroys norepinephrine in the extracellular space. Okay, this is how norepinephrine action is terminated by monoamine oxidase, COMT, and sometimes this NET pumps norepinephrine. It is not destroyed actually. It is pumps back norepinephrine into this neurons, so the action is terminated. Okay, and next is, first we saw how norepinephrine is produced and how it is loaded into the vesicles, how it is released, then how it is terminated. Now, what are the receptors? Okay, so any neurotransmission, the neurotransmitter go and bind with the receptor produce downstream cascade events, which is basically called as neurotransmission. So, what are the norepinephrine receptors? Alpha, beta, these are the class of receptors. Okay, alpha, there are four types: alpha 1, alpha 2A, 2B and 2C, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3A, A1. Okay, so these are the norepinephrine receptors. Okay, here this alpha 2 receptor is basically presynaptic autoreceptor. As we know, this presynaptic autoreceptor, when the neurotransmitter attaches to it, it actually inhibits neurotransmitter usually. Okay, postsynaptic receptor, like it is present in the synapse, it increases neurotransmission. Okay, so the postsynaptic receptor convert their occupancy by norepinephrine into a physiological functions, ultimately into changes in signal transduction, and in turn the gene expression. Okay, any monoamine neurotransmission, the final pathway is changing the gene expression. Okay. So this is how norepinephrine acts in the receptor and causes neurotransmission. Okay, so these are the receptors available. So norepinephrine released into synapse binds to one of these receptor, depends on the area of neurotransmission, then it causes further downstream cascade.